from Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back-to-back bombs, from Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff, to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C, to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano, to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, there has been extremely minimal moves for our beloved Seattle Mariners, but we know what time it is. We're in the heart of football season. The Seahawks are on a 4-game winning streak. RG's Eagles are flying high. The college football playoff is finally set. I couldn't be more thrilled about it. For starters, we got to give a huge shout out to our main man, Indy, super producer out there in Nashville, Tennessee, rocking the ones and twos. It's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services. They bring the show to life. Got to give a huge shout out to my main man, RG, who is unavailable on the road somewhere in the middle of nowhere tonight. But y'all know what time it is. The great friend of the show, Jerry, is back in the house. One of my great Northwest buddies. I know he's pumped about what's going on. It's been a minute, bro. How you been, dude? And what's up over there?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I'm happy the weather's starting to warm up a little bit. This last week got real cold. Made work a little difficult for myself, but we're here.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hawks are winning. They're feeling the cold, so that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, well, we're going to jump into football here, man, because typical Mariners fashion, the only move they've made so far was a dude I had to Google. So that kind of tells you everything, but, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
I see you looking fresh to death in that Witherspoon jersey. It's been a 4-game winning streak for our Seahawks, 2 straight on the road. Witherspoon is playing at an elite level right now. Everything you would hope for in a top 10 pick. Talk to me anything about this right now.
Yeah, him and Big Cat, man. They're the tandem. They're the 1-2 punch. Again, Witherspoon, he's the light jabs. He's just buzzing around like a bee, and then you got Leonard Williams coming in with the big uppercuts all over the place. I love it. It's I don't know what happened, but the defense is clicking, and I like it.
It is. And what's crazy too is there was spells this season where we were getting torched on the ground and through the air. I know the Buffalo Bills can put up points on anybody, but they thoroughly embarrassed us in Seattle. And there was times this year where I was kind of wondering, are we going to get it figured out this season? I'm not the one to want to fire a coach after year one unless the train completely comes off the rails. Mariners lifer, I think Mike McDonald is the real deal. And even bigger, dude, lifer, Ernest Jones has been a difference maker. And you said it, we have playmakers and studs on every level of the defense. And that's so fun to watch because no matter how much the NFL and the TV networks want to turn it into an offensive passing league, everyone started watching football and started playing football because they liked the hitting and they liked the physicality. Just talk to me about what you think about Ernest Jones. I mean, I think that was one of the great trades, and we absolutely need to re-sign him.
100%. Honestly, it's crazy because we no longer have the 2 big free agent linebackers we signed this offseason. Like, they're both gone. And now we got Ernest Jones, got him in now, and our rookie that we drafted, and things are clicking on all cylinders. So I don't know if that's a testament to Mike McDonald and like his vision of his defense, and he finally got the players that he wanted, but it's not very often you see big free agent contract signings just get let go and get traded like that. And yeah, Ernest Jones, 100%. he was the seemed like he was the spark. He was the fire we needed, and ever since we got him, this defense been hitting hard.
Mm-hmm. You said it, man. Those two linebackers hit hard, and this is nothing against Dodson. This is nothing against Baker, but those guys would be like me out there, like hit and just hold on for dear life and hope that the guy comes down. You dig? Like
Yeah.
those guys are coming up with the wood, pushing dudes backwards, hard tackles. I freaking love it. And the one thing I'd say is this is why it's smart to try to get 1 year deals in free agency. Because if it doesn't work, it's really easy to cut bait and move on to the next fish, so to speak. And then I was just thinking about the two kick returners. If y'all don't know, the Seahawks have been struggling, fumbling, kick and punt returns to the extent where both our returners got cut this week. And so what I really like is it seems like this coaching staff is just has the stance where if you are not gonna get the job done, we will go out and find somebody who will. And that's evident in that we got rid of both of our starting linebackers and both of our starting kick returners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems like it's either do your job or get out. Like there's zero tolerance for making these type of mistakes, and I mean, it's always good not to lose the ball and have that as a priority, which that was one of the big things with Pete. So I'm glad that's translating over to here because, yeah, the less turnovers you have, or the more you win the turnover battle, the more games you're going to win.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Rams game and the Giants game are two wins on the ledger if the Seahawks protected the football there.
Hmm. Absolutely. It was nice to see us take care of business through the division these last 4 weeks.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it was critical that we do because even though I'm pretty bullish on the Seahawks as a team right now, we have the Packers and the Vikings as the next two games coming to Seattle. And I'm just hoping we can win one of those because those are going to be really tough matchups. And it'll honestly be a good test to see where this team's really at because Arizona had a great record, but now they've lost three straight. Don't look now, the Rams are coming from behind, right? They had a
Yeah, boy, it
giant
was
win
crazy.
in a crazy shoot. Yeah, dude. That was really fun. I was like, all right, my wife's like, oh, let's watch something else. I was like, oh, we gotta hold on for just a few more minutes here.
Yeah, that game was wild. It looked like it was a blowout, and then of course Josh Allen comes storming back.
Yeah, no doubt. He made me look like a fantasy football genius today, but
I hate everything about Josh Allen. So I went up against him in like 3 leagues. I was like, this is unreal.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Because what's crazy though is although the Seahawks 8-5, firm grasp on first place, but they have to win one of these next two games. And then, honestly, if you just look at the records at Chicago, the day after Christmas is a Thursday game on the road. That one worries the shit out of me too, because Thursday games can always be random as shit. Chicago's weather the day after Christmas is probably going to be shitty at best. So, it's bad weather in a slippery field can really equal or even the playing field, I would say, with a couple teams. And like Mariners Lifer just said on the live chat, the Rams scare him. They're right on our ass too. So if
Yeah,
we
they're
lose
eating
a
up.
couple straight, it could flip immediately because
Yeah,
the division's so close.
yeah. This division's been wild this year. I mean, I I think the Lions had the best shot making it to the Super Bowl, but it's a crapshoot as far as the NFC West goes. Like I'm thinking honestly, it'd be wild, but I think the Niners could come in last in our division.
Oh, they definitely could. I mean, the Seahawks could even come in last because the division's so close right now. And, you know, I'm not going to bury the 49ers, especially going into next season. But teams only have championship windows open for so long.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they're towards the end of their window and they might have missed it. You know, it sucks. They went to two Super Bowls within a few years. They made a bunch of good playoff runs. But as we well know, this shit doesn't last forever. The
Mhm.
Seahawks won the Super Bowl a decade ago with the youngest team in football. And you definitely think, oh, the Super Bowl champ, also the youngest team, they're going to win a couple more. And it didn't happen. That's how tough it is. So I'm curious if San Francisco might be on the downside of their really good run they've had the last several years.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad to see CMC not being healthy. I mean, just that guy in general is just electric. It's always fun watching him play, even though he is a Niner.
Mm-hmm. And then, Trent Williams banged up, maybe the best player on their team, well over 30. So who knows how much longer he's gonna be play. I wouldn't have any problem at all if that huge man decided to retire at some point.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, I see something interesting here. Texas Power thinks that they have more of a window if they move on from Shanahan. Texas Power Ranger, let me know what's on your mind there because as a Seahawks fan playing these guys twice a year, I would be thrilled if they fired Kyle Shanahan. Now, our amazing co-host, the notorious RG, he's the one that's always like Shanahan chokes in big moments, but this dude has kicked our ass for 4 straight years. I wouldn't be mad to see him out.
Yeah, his run game schemes, they're seems like they've been unmatched, but I don't know. I don't know what's been going on. I mean, what's that guy? Isaac Guerrero? He had a day today. So seems like it's plug and play with his running backs as far as his run game goes.
Texas Power coming with the haymaker, flying off the top rope with an elbow drop.
Dion.
Dude, oh shit. I mean I'm not mad at that, man, because we can say whatever we want. Let's just transition here because there's not a ton of baseball news, man, and I love talking baseball with you, man. But we're gonna just run in circles over like the three big signings so far,
Yeah.
with the Mariners not involved.
And how ownership's not gonna pony up and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Deion Sanders? All I want to say is Colorado had one winning season out of the previous 18 years before Coach Prime showed up.
I mean, obviously he's doing something good over there. I mean, it definitely helps to have a Travis Hunter and Shadur over there, but I I don't know. I mean, because he was at what was it, Mississippi or Ole Miss before this, and
He
he
was at Jackson State,
Jackson State.
which is an HBCU school. So there was
Okay,
a lot of naysayers saying, you have, top 5 NFL guys in a league that maybe has one NFL player every couple years, but they went to a program that can't win and then flipped it around in 2 years. So I think that's damn impressive.
I mean, you can't knock his knowledge or his talent. So, I mean, if he wanted to try and step up to the NFL, I'd say you got to give him a shot. I mean, there's only one way to find out, right? I mean, not
Yeah.
everyone's born to coach. I mean, some guys are just born to play and move on after that, and some guys have the knowledge and the know-how to get the most out of their guys, and maybe he's one of them.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And then the other side of coaching too to me is there is a plethora of great coaches that are just great coordinators or great position coaches. That's the one thing when we hired Mike McDonald, and it'll still remain to be seen because we're only, 2/3 or 3/4 in the way of his first season. But you never know how a coordinator is going to handle becoming the head coach because there's so much more that a head coach has to deal with. And we've seen countless great coordinators fail as head coaches, go back to coordinating and kick ass at that job again.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that was one thing that the Seahawks did really well with the McDonald signing, getting Leslie Frazier in here.
Mm.
I think he's been doing a lot of behind the scenes work as far as helping McDonald's succeed,
I couldn't
relegated.
agree more.
Yeah,
That might be the smartest point I've heard this season, dude, for real.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs on this season. It's been a roller coaster ride, but it seems like, especially with the harsh cuts that have come in the recent weeks, and targeting specific guys and getting them in here and giving the right guys the playing time that deserve it. It seems like we got a good front office right now and good coaching staff that are on point.
And regardless of how this season finishes, I would like to just see this group go for a few years and see what happens. Because what I see here, and it's no secret the Jets already fired their coach. The Giants are probably going to fire their coach. And on the live chat, Mariners Life are saying Dion to the Jets or Giants. And with franchises like that, they're always picking at the top of the draft because they have no consistency, they have no cohesion. I mean, it's real when we talk about having a group together to learn about each other, to grow together. And then the other fact is like, let's take John Schneider for example. He gets criticized a lot because he's had some bad drafts, and he has. There's no way around that. But if you've been a GM for 12 or 14 years in the NFL, I promise you'll have a bad draft. Bill Polian has a gold jacket, and if we went on Wikipedia and looked up every one of his draft classes, I guarantee you he has a few shitty ones. That's just part of the nature of the beast.
100%. Yeah, I'm with Texas Power Rangers. I'm not a believer in Dable. I mean, Daniel Jones wasn't it, but I think he could have been better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here's one thing, and I always try to figure it out. And I'm gonna call myself out here really quick. And part of it is because I love Russell Wilson. How could I not, man? I'm a diehard 12. But I took some shots at Sean Payton on wax earlier this year, saying Drew Brees made him this and that. Well, he's doing pretty good with Bo Nix right now, and everyone knows I'm not a Bo Nix fan for obvious reasons. But I'm thinking about Brian Daboll, and he rose to prominence as a Nick Saban assistant and coaching Josh Allen. I mean, could we? Let me ask you. I think there's a lot of coaches that could succeed coaching Josh Allen and being Nick Saban's sidekick.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, easy. I mean, I do think Sean Payton is a great coach, but I think he has a specific, very specific way he likes to play the game, and he needs a quarterback that's going to do it the way he wants to. And as far as Russell Wilson goes, I think Russell Wilson is in the perfect situation. I think he's in a very similar situation as 2013-14 with the Seahawks, where he has a very good defense, a good run game, and a strong-willed coach. Like I think Russell getting humbled in Denver was good for him, and now that he's a Steeler, he's not doing all of the theatrics. He doesn't have his entourage. He doesn't have all that special treatment going on. And I honestly, I think what he has right now is almost exactly like 2013, 2014 Seahawks.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And part of it is you gotta cater your scheme to what your player does best. And Russell still throws a beautiful deep ball if you got one on ones on the
100%.
outside. Absolutely. Then I saw a highlight earlier today. He throws an absolute fastball down the seam to their tight end for a touchdown. Russ has still got some juice left. He is not going to be Houdini getting shout outs and Eminem songs like he did 10, 12 years ago, but he's still a good player. And don't be surprised if he gets one more huge contract left in his career. But like you said, it seems like that Pittsburgh's a perfect fit So I would honestly hope for his sake that maybe he could take less money to stay in Pittsburgh. But there's some shitty teams out there that might just give him an offer he can't refuse to come play quarterback for them.
Definitely. But for what Texas Power Rangers saying, when I say humbled, I mean he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the all yards passer and take reins. I don't think he can be that guy. So I think he's come to terms with that, and I think he knows he needs a good run game and defense behind him.
I heard him say something really interesting recently to me, and part of it's because some guys are oblivious to where their stature is in the league. But Russell said when he got released from Denver, he kind of looked in the mirror and was like, Is this the last time I'm going to play pro football? And then he got picked up by Pittsburgh. And I think when any pro athlete gets to that moment in their career where they question to themselves, is this maybe the end? Then there is a lot more acceptance to take the criticism and also just take the coaching. Because you're right, Mike Tomlin ain't taking that bullshit. He is not like, and the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't either. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers have had their ways for over 50 years now. You know, the steel curtain, and it's always been the same way in Pittsburgh since long before we were born, dude. And you're right. I just think that's a great situation. And I also want to give a shout out to Tomlin because that took balls. You know, Justin Fields, starting quarterback, they're 4-2, and he benches them. How many coaches in this league would have the balls to bench the starting quarterback at 4-2? And now, granted, I think that Fields was in there because Russ got injured, like right at the start of the season and end of preseason, that sort of range, probably like late August. But I don't give a shit, man. That takes mass balls to bench a 4-2 quarterback.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know if Tomlin himself was getting all the criticism, but yeah, I mean, any comment section you can find on the matter is people saying, "How are you going to bench this guy? Like he's carrying the team type of deal." And yeah, I'm with you. That he stuck to his guns, and they're looking like a force in the AFC.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I just want to bring it back really quickly because we were talking about this before we went live, before we turned the mics on, and the Seahawks' right side of their offensive line at times this year has been absolutely atrocious. They get Abe Lucas back at right tackle, and to my eye, he's not the same player yet. But he's missed like a year of football, basically. You can't expect him to be his former self immediately. But Sal Maya, oh my goodness. At right guard, we in season, in house, have a drastic improvement on the right side of the offensive line. And what I absolutely love today is the Seahawks were pulling those guys very often with great results, including a 50-yard touchdown. Zach Charbonnet looking like a second round pick. Sometimes a guy just needs to get opportunities to show it, but I'm so happy with the improvement on the offensive line. And from what I've seen in 2 games, Sal Maya looks like a legit starting guard in the NFL. Only his second start, only his rookie year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, both these defenses. I mean, granted, how bad the Jets' record says, I think the Jets' defense is still really good. They got some star power over there, and the Arizona defense hasn't been anything to scoff at this year. And I mean, they proved it 2 weeks ago when we played them. I mean, that was a low scoring game.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, besides that pick six, but
I mean, seriously though, that's a really good point. Without the pick six, it's like a 9-9 football game.
right? No, no, it definitely. Today was a much different game than 2 weeks ago. I mean, I don't know if it's just adjustments or whatever, but yeah, I mean, getting back to back interceptions that helps a lot. But
Woo!
it seemed like we stepped our game up a lot more from that first meeting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another midseason adjustment, and it also came from injury. But Kobe Bryant's been balling out, and I'm so happy. You know, there is a saying that you don't lose your job to injury, but it looks like Rashawn Jenkins, one of our safeties, lost his job to injury. And if you really give true serum to NFL players, they'll tell you you absolutely lose your job to injury. Ask Drew Bledsoe. Ask Drew Bledsoe if you can lose your job to injury. You dig? You
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant has been a man on fire since he's came in. I always wanted to see him more because he had a really good rookie year and then kind of fell off the map. You know, never got in. And dude is balling out. Great point, Mariners lifer. I like Jenkins in the box, and he's that kind of like that hybrid now. We see him in those obvious third and longs, kind of playing that linebacker spot. I mean, you know, he's obviously a safety, but teams are doing this nowadays so much, bringing in their thumping type of safety as to play linebacker in these obvious passing downs. And this is why I love having a Mike McDonald. And it's honestly fun for players, man. Everyone wants to play, but if you have too much of a strict, not open to expanding the playbook, then you know only 11 or 12 guys play, man. We probably see 15 to 18 defensive players get quite a bit of burn for the Seahawks, and that's fun if you're a player because you know you're going to get out there.
Yep, I agree. Mariners lifer is on point with everything he's just said. Yeah, Kobe, he had the injuries early on, and it was hard to keep him on the field. And seems like he's figured out how to stay healthy. And yeah, 100%. I mean, especially at this level, you all these positions they have their intricacies and their little details that are different from one another and what you got to spot. And I don't know, that interception Kobe had today, he read that like a book. So I think where they got him now is the perfect position for him.
That's a great shout out, dude. And I love that point about reading it like a book because when you see the replay, and this is how fast NFL guys are that blows my fucking mind, dude, is when Kyler puts that up, I was like, oh, he's got it. Like Kobe's so far away
Yeah,
from
he
that
wasn't
ball
even
when
the
Kyler's
frame.
about to release. What the hell? And he is supposedly not a fast player, you know, by 40 standards in the end. Like, my God, these guys close at such an unbelievable speed. It's crazy.
Yeah, game speed is way different than 40 speed.
Thank you. Oh, man. Well, crazy season, though, man, because what were the Seahawks, I believe? 4-5, four straight wins to get back in it. I mean, started 3-0, end up 4-5, now 8-5. Hopefully, there's no more valley because the season's really been up and down so far. But
Yeah, and three of them against
it's really
divisional
fun.
rivals.
Oof,
That's
oof.
that's good. I mean, the Rams, like, it doesn't matter who's on the team or what their record is. I'm gun shy when it comes to the Rams. Like, as far as predicting wins, I don't care. That it's just history. They, for some reason, even in St. Louis, they always play this stuff.
Mariners lifer. When it comes to Geno Smith, I am kind of in the middle. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. And I just think that lots of fans get so obsessed with elite franchise or the guy just sucks. And somehow all these fans forgot that there is a giant middle ground between sucking ass and being a Hall of Famer. And Gino is one of those guys. When it comes to the money, I cannot give Gino $60 million a year like Dak Prescott. I
No.
can't give him 55 like Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence. But if he's willing to maybe sign for like 3 years, 90, I would consider. But it's going to be a really interesting offseason. I don't know if you saw there's these reports coming out from I believe ESPN saying the Seahawks are going to try to move on from Geno, which the only reason it worries me is I don't see a lot of good options out there right now.
Yeah, but I kind of like Sam Howell. Like
Yeah.
we've forgotten about Sam Howell because I mean he hasn't played yet or anything, but I think he did good things in Washington last year. I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, I played him a lot last year as my quarterback in fantasy football, but I think I mean, granted, I don't know how much better our O line is compared to what he had last year, but I mean, he's got an arm. Like he can put up the yards. So I mean, even if he's like a bridge or whatever, I don't think we're finding our quarterback next year in the draft by any means. Uh, it seems like it's kind of a what lesser talented draft as, especially this last year. This last year, man, we probably should have jumped on one of those guys. Seems like all these
Yeah, for
guys are taking
sure.
off.
And what's funny is the one guy that the reports are the Raiders and the Seahawks were desperately trying to trade up to get Michael Penix. And this is why the draft is such a huge TV event because no one thought Michael Penix would get drafted by the Falcons ahead of
Oh,
that shit.
100% no.
You know, so
After
they just fucked everybody's plans up on that one.
yeah. No, I mean I wouldn't have been mad if we took him, but I'm also not mad that we got Byron Murphy.
Oh,
but yeah,
absolutely.
but yeah, after Falcons signing Kirk Cousins, he got a 4-year deal, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, he basically got like almost 100 million guaranteed, I believe.
Yeah, that was
So they're not
wild.
going to be able to, yeah, you
That was a
know.
wild pick for them, but I mean, I guess Phoenix gets to collect his top 10 first round draft pick contract, and then he gets to get a secondary contract before he even starts playing.
To me, it's just a waste though, because we saw it with Russell Wilson firsthand. You have such an advantage if you can have a rookie or anyone on a rookie deal. Even if you said top 10 pick, what is that? Probably like $8-9 million somewhere in that range. And Daniel Jones is going for like 30 or 40. Gino's going for like 30 or 40. Like it's insane what you can do. And that's why I'm intrigued by Sam Howell though, is because I think he only will be under contract for next season, and then we'd have to think about redoing a deal. But
I
if
think
we
we'd
have
have him
Sam
for
Howell
two
at
more years.
quarterback, 2 more years, I
Yeah.
mean, we could really do some things to this roster with that sort of financial flexibility. And if you look ahead, the Seahawks have to make moves to stay under the cap next year, anyways. We kind of are in a shitty situation that way.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what we got DK under contract, right? Or is he a free agent next year?
He has one more, so
One
he can
more.
be back next year, and then that's why they're kind of
Yeah.
talking about it because a
Until
lot of these guys want to get paid 1 year before.
yep. And Lockett's right there. I know he's near the end of his extension. And then we gotta start thinking about JSN and K9. Like he's got one more year. And Charbonnet, he's getting close.
Charles Cross,
Charles Cross.
Boye Mafe.
Yeah. Yeah. They're starting to add up. Yeah. I mean I paying a quarterback 60 million is just outrageous. Cowboys are screwed. like I paying Dak Prescott 60 million. CD what does CD Lamb get? He's up there like 40 mil, 35 mil,
Whoosh.
something like that. I don't know.
That's a tough one. I don't. I know how Tay feels about Jerry Jones here, and that's one of the things. Like one of his best qualities is one of his worst qualities for Jerry Jones. That is he loves his players so much, and I love that from an owner because he really cares about his guys and is going to invest his money to help them as much as he possibly can. But he loves them too much and just gives them whatever he wants. It's like he's spoiling his kids.
Yeah. Tay Williams. Yeah, that's good.
Oh man. Dak need to pay that back. Yeah, and that's the funny thing too, is it's like I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I'm also a Geno Smith fan. But in the NFL, the number attached to you also matters a ton. I hate Dak Prescott at 60 million. I hate Geno Smith at 60 million. Put both those guys at like 20 to 30 and I love them.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, they're no Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. So, yeah, I mean,
Oh, Texas Power coming off the top ropes with that one. And it's so funny too because you never hear about a quarterback getting in a fight like that. But I mean, Gino's one of the guys. He's in there gambling. Someone's not paying their debts. Guys will get pissed. I get that, and that kind of got a stigma on him. But here's one thing I'll also say: is it's completely true. If you're a quarterback, you don't want to go to the Jets. Shit.
no, absolutely not.
I mean, Sam Darnold this year looks like a different player. Geno Smith has looked like a different player. I'm just waiting for Zach Wilson to come in and if Bo Nix gets hurt and somehow he lights it on fire, and
Yeah,
then I'll just be like, Jets, what the hell are y'all doing
no,
out
they
there?
honestly, I think there's some toxic over there in the Jets facility. Like, uh, 14 years confirmed losing seasons after today. Like, that's
Damn.
something. There's something wrong there. I mean, they've had the most starting quarterbacks in that span. Like, yeah, there's something wrong with upper management going on over there. Something wrong with culture. I don't think Saul is a bad coach. Like, he was just a scapegoat this year. He's a great defensive coach. So
There's always a scapegoat in New
yeah,
York.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think I was talking about it with RG, and we were trying to say the last time they had sustained quarterback play was freaking Joe Namath, man.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Then maybe Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, and there's the other point though in why when owners want to shoot from the hip so quickly and get so emotional so fast, they never should have fired Rex Ryan. They probably never should have drafted Geno Smith. They probably should have just taken a year or two to rebuild the team with Sanchez there. And if they had a little bit of patience, it probably would have worked out. Instead, they have one shitty year after two straight AFC championship appearances and then these guys are gone. This is why I'm so big on continuity and consistency because the teams that are always shooting from the hip are always the teams drafting first.
Yeah, definitely. I think New York media definitely plays a large role in how
Ooh.
fast they move on from things. Like, bad publicity. I mean, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but these owners see how bad it is, and they're just like, all right, trying to solve it. Put a band-aid on it real quick. See if this helps.
My problem is though is you're a billionaire owner with a multi-billionaire asset. Why do you give a flying fuck what the fans and the media are saying about you, dude? I mean, doesn't seem like the New York Yankees let that affect them. And maybe to their detriment because they haven't won a World Series in over 15 years. But I never it never seems like the Yankees, and maybe that's their stature in their sport, so it might not be a fair comparison. But these owners can't listen to what we're saying like that, man. You're writing the checks. This is your team. Don't be tripping about what some people on the mic are saying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, Mariners owners don't give a shit what what the fans are saying or the media.
No, they really don't. They need to pass some of that over to New York,
Yeah,
apparently.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just kind of looking at some of these right now. Let's just go over them, man. Texas Power's got a lot of good food for thought here. Sam Darnold, yes or no, and what would be your number that would be too much?
Well, he makes a good point that McCarthy will be the starting quarterback because obviously I think he probably would have been this year if he didn't have to have that surgery. Um, but now he's definitely raised his stock quite a bit. So, but beforehand he was nothing, and I think he's should be probably graded similar to Gino, like maybe that 30-35 range.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because he doesn't have sustained success. That's the
Yeah,
one thing.
this is
We
like
got
his
to
best
wonder
year,
is
hundred
this,
percent.
oh, and it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at being a career backup at best coming into this year. But I just looked it up really quick. Sam Darnold's only 27.
Wow.
So now I'm curious because Texas Power brings up J.J. McCarthy and possibly Michael Penix. Kirk Cousins, oh, the big hell no. I'm a ride with Geno Smith every day of the week over bringing in Kirk Cousins at this point. I would consider Michael Penix, but now I'm curious like, okay, so say the Minnesota Vikings make a deep playoff run. Maybe they even make the freaking Super Bowl. Shit, if they do that with Sam Darnold, if I was Minnesota, I'd consider re-signing Sam Darnold and trading JJ McCarthy.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah,
Okay.
that might be an option because they could probably get a haul of picks for that, and
Yes.
not have to pay Darnold 60 million because
Yes.
obviously, I mean, I think he could definitely get probably close to the 40 million range, but still, that's 20 million in savings as far as what top quarterbacks are going for, and obviously he likes it in Minnesota and things are working.
And like Mariners Lifer just said, there's always a team that's going to need a quarterback. And even if you have, let's just say, for argument's sake, a solid quarterback in Geno. Even if you have solid quarterback play, you're still looking to find a better option.
Yeah, absolutely. And in order to make a quarterback like Darnold or Geno or even Jameis Winston work, like I mean, Jameis Winston, he's a gunslinger. Like he's gonna get the yards and touchdowns, but he makes those careless 2 pick six in a game to lose it for you. But you have to be elite somewhere else. Like you have to cover up. So if you're gonna go that route, you're gonna have to invest in the defense or the offensive line or somewhere. You're gonna have to cover it up. Give them a crutch.
And that's not easy to do. It's
No.
not easy to build an elite group anywhere in the NFL because all these guys are so good. So it's really hard to actually draft players that separate themselves from the rest.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm with Mariners lifer. I don't think Gino should get 45 a year. I think if he's good with 30 to 35, I'd probably be okay with that. I mean, Gino, he does good enough. I mean, I damn near tear my hair out when he's scrambling around, not willing to throw the ball out of bounds and takes the sack. But for the most part, he gets the job done.
Yeah, I get that too. And I think the Seahawks as an organization aren't going to pay him that number either because we know Gino and his agent approached the Seahawks front office about an extension this offseason. And the Seahawks said, no, thanks. We don't want to deal with that right now. If the Seahawks were willing to give him 45 million per year, it probably would have happened already.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Because you
And
can spread that money out too. That's why I've always thought that Geno might get an extension this offseason, even if the Seahawks only halfway believe in him, because they'll be able to spread that money out a little more instead of that one. We know how these teams are. They always backload these contracts. Last year, the contract is always the biggest number by far. And so if they want to, or I've even said that they might need to extend him just to field a playoff quality team next year, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know how much I believe in Sam Howell, but I love your thinking because that just leaves so many opportunities to build the team in other ways.
yeah, because I mean, he's still on his rookie contract for at least 2 more years. Like
And he's a fifth
95%
round
sure.
pick.
Yeah.
That's like he's like in the 1% of the cheapest players of the league at that point,
Mm-hmm.
minus the practice squad.
Yeah. Absolutely. Be even better than Russell
Oh,
Wilson.
shit. That was still the greatest bargain in maybe sports history was
Yeah,
Russell
absolutely.
Wilson doing his Houdini shit for like 600 grand a year. And that's
Right?
so crazy. That in the last decade, the NFL money has exploded so much that random ass backup linebackers in the sixth or seventh round are gonna make like $1 million. And even Russell Wilson was at like 600K, 12 years ago.
Right. That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about Darnold being a Seahawk. What's your thoughts?
I think long term he would be a major upgrade over Geno, but someone's going to want to pay him. Texas Power, I don't know if the Cleveland Browns can do shit about their situation right now.
With Deshaun?
I mean, dude, they're married to Deshaun with no divorce option right now, no matter how ugly it gets.
Yeah.
So,
What was his contract? 240, 250, 100% guaranteed?
and that's still never happened in football.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mariners lifer, he would rule in Grubb's
Okay.
offense. I can see that. We need consistent offensive line play, though. We don't need great offensive line play, but we saw it this year, man. It was atrocious at times, and you can't even function as an offense when the guys are in the backfield immediately, nearly every play.
Yeah. But I did really love that goal line touchdown, that second touchdown we had today. All that movement we had going on to confuse the defense. And
Oh,
then the jet
baby.
sweep. Yeah, that was nice. So, I
Oh, that was
mean,
perfect.
yeah, that was a beautiful drawn up play by Grubb. So that made me happy. I was like, man, feels like forever since we had a successful 1 yard play.
Oh, absolutely. And what was so great too is I love the replays and the camera angles they can show us nowadays because when they showed the replay from that sky cam behind the quarterback and offensive line, you can see from that angle Arizona's just stuffed the entire middle up and they blew up the middle of our offensive line because they put their entire defense there. Here Charbonnet goes around the edge and walks in for a touchdown. Fucking beautiful. I absolutely love it. Ryan Grubb, I'm still a huge believer. He
I am
has
too.
had some terrible moments this year. Grubb has had some terrible moments this year, but we had to expect it. It's the first time he's been in the NFL at any coaching position, and his rookie debut in the NFL is as offensive coordinator. Talk about getting thrown to the wolves. So I think we had to expect that he would have those terrible moments and hope that he learns and grows as the season evolves and hopefully into the future.
Yeah, I think some of the turmoil of opinions on Grubb is maybe stemming from people not realizing or forgetting how good UW's offensive line was last year. Because he had a great offensive line to work with Michael Penix and everyone. So I think he's growing, he's learning, especially the difference from the Jets game to this game. They turned a light switch on and got out of the dark this week because last week, oh man, I couldn't look away. Just it's like a train wreck. Like you
Yeah, for
gotta
real.
watch. You gotta see how it ends. That game was bad.
And you said it. Despite the record, the Jets game made me extremely nervous
Hundred
because
percent.
because not all fans follow it as closely, and a lot of fans just know the fantasy football side of things. But if you know the Jets D line, you know that they can present problems to any team. And I'm just thinking in my head, oh Jesus, we've had way lesser D lines dominate us this year, and we're on the road at 10 in the morning. So that made me really Texas Power Ranger. No way on Drew Lock. We're done with that shit. He had his amazing game. He had his light in the sun in Seattle. RG versus your fly, Eagles fly. But of everyone on that list, there's not really anyone that makes me super excited besides Sam Darnold. I think that's a list of a ton of backups, really. Justin Fields, Mariners lifer, I'm not on that train. And what's funny, dude, is this is where I got to admit, I thought Justin Fields would be a stud coming out of college. I really did. But you know what? We found out the guy can't throw a changeup. He can't throw a curveball. All he has is a fastball and can run. Quarterbacks have to make those touch throws in the NFL, or you're going to end up being a backup.
100%. I mean, that's why I think they made the right decision on pulling him out once Russell Wilson was healthy, and I think they knew that. I mean, honestly, those 4-6 games that Justin Fields was a starter, I watch a lot of Red Zone, and I do a lot of fantasy football, and I have a lot of Steelers defense in my fantasy football. Their defense carried. Their defense carried hard during that 6 game span. And I think they knew that in the running game. I think the running game carried a lot, and they knew they needed to get some air attack going.
Oh, Tay just got me telling us we can
No,
take
no,
Dak for
no. You
free.
you can keep them.
Yeah, no
You can
doubt,
keep
no
them.
doubt. You're gonna have to pay us, man.
Give us a first round. We'll take Dak off your hands.
Fuck all that. If y'all pay me and Cherry's bills for 1 year, then we'll take Dax.
I'm down. Yeah.
That's got to be tough in Dallas though right now. And what's funny to me is that's actually a good drafting team. They just somehow get in their own way. I got a question for you then,
Okay.
Tay. Is
Mm.
what if Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick to Dallas? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really do. I definitely don't think McCarthy's it for them. I mean, I think McCarthy might be washed.
Mm. Interesting. It's it's kind of mind-boggling to me, dude, because although you just said a coach is washed, and we never really think of it like that, but that can certainly be the case. Maybe Bill Belichick is washed, but there's so many teams that have shitty coaching situations. If I was running one of these shitty teams, I would seriously consider bringing in Coach Bill. What's the worst that can happen? It falls flat, you fire him in 2 or 3 years. But I mean, is there any coach that has more accolades, wins, and championships than Coach Belichick?
Don't think so. I mean, Saban would be the closest probably, but yeah, Prime to Dallas. That would make sense. That's a Jerry move right there. Prime to Dallas. I can see that 100%.
I mean, we saw him pay for Prime many years ago when we were kids. So,
Right? Yeah,
God, that's like 30 years ago now. But
that almost makes
there
too
is
much
one
sense.
thing Tommy's talking about college. There's a lot of rumors that the University of North Carolina is in negotiations right now with Bill Belichick, and Bill knows his power because word on the street is Bill will not accept a college job unless they put it in contract that his son, who is a defensive coordinator for UW, is the head coach in waiting, and I have never liked head coach in waiting. I have never liked that. We saw that fall flat on his face with Jim Mora, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm not a coach in waiting type of guy. But you want Bill Belichick, you'll probably need to make a couple sacrifices.
Yeah, I mean that could be a needle mover for a program for sure. It's like you said. I don't know if there's a more tenured, more accolades claimed coach than Bill Belichick. I mean, I guess more time is needed to tell if it was more Belichick than Brady. But yeah, I mean, you can't knock what he did. Seems like he could pull a rabbit out of a hat and put him on defense, and they'd have one of the best defenses in the league.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then I also just think about a guy like Coach Belichick going to the ACC. or really any college program for that matter, it does. And how many of these college coaches can scheme it up the way Bill Belichick can? And I think about his son Steven with UW. I mean, their defense, considering the lack of talent, I would say that they had, was pretty darn good this year. And I was honestly surprised because given the players that they had, I thought UW would get cut up in every single game they played.
Yeah, I honestly I did not expect much from UW this year. It's I mean,
No.
I watched a few of the games. I watched the big games. Like I watched that Oregon ass spanking and a few others, but I didn't expect much unlike last year. And yeah, they've surprised me. I mean, it was surprising to see how good Wazoo was compared to them. That's for sure.
Oh, wow. It was disappointing how Wazoo finished just for their sake, but
Yeah, absolutely.
they had a revenge factor. They came out with middle fingers to the sky. No conference wants us. Well, fuck all y'all. We're just going to beat you then.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, I got no ill will to either one of them. I'm not an alumni or nothing, so I'm
Mhm.
pro Washington, whatever the sport is, whatever the event is. But I guess when it came to the Apple Cup, I always pulled more UW just because I'm closer to UW than Wazoo. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been happy for their. Oh, I was happy for their season till the end before they fell off.
Mhm. Shit happens, I guess. They were going hard for a while. And the one thing I'd say is I do feel bad for the Wazoo program right now, though, is because the second their season ends, their offensive coordinator goes to Oklahoma. It looks like their star quarterback Mateer is going to hit the transfer portal. We saw what Cam Ward did for Miami this year after he left Wazoo. So I just feel for them because it feels like Coach Dickert is really doing a great job for Wazoo. But the second they develop anyone that's good, they're fucking gone.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel like the transfer portal's kind of ruined college football a little bit.
Mm.
Makes it too easy, you know? I mean, you made a commitment, stick it out.
And I think maybe there should even like. I guess my problem is like say the USC quarterback, he starts all year, he gets benched, week 10 or so, something of that nature. And then like the next day he's like I'm in the portal, peace, I'm out.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not like I don't hate it because coaches get to leave whenever the hell they want to, but I think maybe there should be some sort of like maybe like a 2-year contract with a school. Like you need to stay for your red shirt and or your fresh red shirt freshman, or if you play right away, freshman sophomore. Just a little stability. And the other factor is it's not good for all of these guys because some of them are getting terrible advice from their family and friends. They hit the transfer portal and they're not the player that they thought they were, and now they're begging for any college to come and get them.
it just seems like they're looking for handouts, They're not trying to get the work in and earn it anymore. It's just like, all right, these guys are gonna let me start. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna sling it over here. It's I mean, so I'm in construction and like we during the summers though we get really busy. We hire all these young kids that are out of school, high school or home from college or whatever. And I've been with this company for 10 years. The quality of kids coming through is lacking. They're very soft and expect a lot of help, a lot of handouts, and I just maybe it's old head mentality or whatever, but like if you got beat out, like you got beat out of your position, so you're gonna go cry about it and go somewhere else that's gonna let you play. You're not gonna sit there and fight and try to earn your spot back. I mean, come on.
The crazy thing is as much as I don't like that, I'm still so into college football, but that's because they made the best decision they ever thought of in
The
giving
playoffs.
us a 12-team playoff.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you kidding
Yes.
me? That was the
Yes.
best decision. They should have done this so long ago.
100%.
And
100%.
it's just like I always said it should be, You don't need to get rid of the bowl games. Just make the bowl games be the playoff,
Right? Yeah. No.
you
I
know?
mean, I wouldn't even be mad if it went to 16, 24, whatever. I want more teams in the playoffs for the college because 4 teams, that is such a political seeding. Like, there's so many good teams in the play or in college. Like, it is hard to pick just four. Like, on it, I mean, just like NFL, any given Sunday, like one team can beat the other any given day. Like, you need to have these guys duke it out in a multiple round fashion, really figure out who the best team is. Especially when you have more than 4 conferences, like you at least needed one from each conference to be in there.
Well, I mean, look at Arizona State. Okay, we got to give Arizona State some props. The last few years, 3-9, 3-9. Now they're in the college football playoff with a bye, waiting for Clemson or Texas in the Peach Bowl. I don't know if you've seen this running back. I can't even Scatabo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correct right
I
now
don't know.
because
Your guess is
I
good as
can't remember
mine.
correct. He is basically the white boy Marshawn Lynch of college football.
I like that.
Fun to watch. But look, I mean, look, this is awesome. We got Tennessee at Ohio State. The winner goes to play Oregon in the Rose Bowl. How freaking cool is that? Indiana plays Notre Dame. The winner goes to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. This shit's freaking awesome. And shit, we see random teams in here: Arizona State, SMU, Indiana, Boise State.
Boise.
Bill Belichick, we got the guys in the live chat saying Bill Belichick go to college. I wouldn't doubt that Belichick could get a random ass program into the college football playoff.
100%. I'm
I mean, we
just
see several in right now.
right. I'm beyond thrilled about Boise State. Like, I am so happy they're in. Like, if it weren't for this, they would never make it in probably.
Mariners Lifer, just so you know, RG has been talking all that shit on our group text about Ohio State already. You know it. You know how that one goes. But he's also just mad because Florida State fell apart completely. At least UW managed to put on a life jacket and keep from drowning. Good shit, man. Good shit, dude. It's just crazy right now. I'm glad that you were into football because we could only talk Mariners so much right now,
Oh man, I was
and
probably good for 15 minutes of Mariners talk.
for sure. And I felt like we went way too hard last year on just trying to talk Mariners, but in baseball, it moves so slowly. You can force it so much and then it just becomes stale as shit. And this is also the problem with baseball, dude, is Willie Adames signed for almost $190 million with the Giants yesterday. And it's in none of the sports news cycle. If I wasn't such a baseball lover, I would have had no clue. Because they're guy signs when everyone's watching the conference championships of college football. Nobody knows that there was a huge nearly $200 million signing. Baseball, I understand that negotiations need to take place, but they got to figure some shit out because the NFL, the day free agency opens, there's 100 signings in the league immediately, and you're like looking at your phone at all of them. NBA, I don't even really watch the NBA anymore, but Lord knows there's a million signings for them the day that free agency starts. Baseball needs to figure out something more for their off season for the fan base because clearly sports fans love these off-season bonanzas.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd say baseball is still probably number 3 as far as the big sports go in news. Like, I know, like when I talk with friends or coworkers and everything, like most of the time they ask me about baseball news or Mariners news or what's going on. And I think the only reason why I know is because Bleacher Report's my Bible, basically. I'm always on that. If I got a spare minute, I'm on there scrolling through the news feeds, like, all right, what's happening? You know, that's the nice thing about it. Is like, especially on the main feed, you get something from all of the different sports and avenues, and you can go down rabbit holes on college sports, like Olympic sports. Like, I don't even think many people really paid. Well, actually, no. This last summer Olympics was pretty well popular. So, but for the most part,
Mariners lifer RG is a Florida State fan, and he has no
oh
geographical
dollars.
loyalty because he's from New Mexico. And I totally get that. When my brother first asked me about RG as a co-host, he was like, that's really weird. He likes the Mariners. Well, I was like, dude, Ken Griffey Jr. was that much of a star that people from anywhere loved the Mariners in the 90s, at least to a certain extent. But that's why he likes teams from all over, is because he has no team. You got guys like me and Jerry B. We ride with the Northwest teams all the way. And like you said, let's fucking go, Boise. And guess what?
100%.
They're playing in the Fiesta Bowl again. One of the greatest college football games ever was Boise State versus Adrian Peterson, Oklahoma, in the Fiesta Bowl at the stadium the Seahawks just kicked ass in today, mind you. But yeah, let's go, Boise. Ashton Shenty is absolutely special. He is going to be a top 15 pick, if not top 10 pick. But yeah, man, there's a certain pride up here too, man, because not all of our teams are good. We got Mariners Lifer and Sunday Evening Media saying that we're only going to spend $12 to $15 this offseason. But that's the sort of pride we have in our teams up here, man. We're going to ride with them no matter what, even if our Mariners make one playoff appearance in the frickin' century.
Yeah, I think we all can agree that we're all going to be disappointed what the ownership is going to do with the Mariners. But if you want to be a true Mariners fan, you just got to treat it like a roller coaster ride. You just got to throw your hands up and scream your head off and enjoy the ride. Enjoy all the ups and
Absolutely.
downs, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, nothing we say is going to make a difference. So if you want to
The only
be,
thing that frustrates me, I'm not asking for the New York Mets, man. Just give us 30 to 40 million more.
yeah, 100%. I mean, we need it. Like, them wasting this starting pitching rotation, it's atrocious. It shouldn't be legal. Like, this
It's
is,
the envy of baseball.
yeah, like
Every
that
other team in baseball would dream of this
yeah.
rotation.
I mean, the fact that Alec Boehm trade proposal for Kirby or George, or not Kirby or George or Logan, uh most people are like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, that shows that people respect our pitching, but they know our hitting is our downfall. And I think everyone knows our ownership needs to pony up and make a move, but I don't expect anything. So
Well, I'm pulling a huge U-turn here because Tommy is saying that he's riding with Notre Dame. Get out of here, Tommy. I'm with Sunday Evening Media. Hell no to Notre Dame. And I have always hated Notre Dame. And my only reason is when you believe that God is specifically cheering for your team, you're insane. Because God does not cheer for a specific football team. That's the biggest amount of bullshit I've ever heard. He just wants the players to be safe out there, make it home to their families after the game. But man, best team. I think that's why it's such a good year for the tournament because I have a really hard time deciding. And so that's why we
yeah,
need to
I
see it play out.
yeah, I really don't
So
know. I mean, I won't lie. I'm not the biggest college viewer, and I'm not every Friday and Saturday. I'm not just posted up on the couch watching whatever game is on or anything. But I know watching that Oregon versus UW game, Oregon dominated. So
yeah, they did.
I think I'm gonna trust the polls on this one and say Oregon, but I'm pulling Boise State all the way, 100%. That's who I'm rooting for.
Okay, you just said something. I said we cheer for the Northwest up here. I hate Oregon.
Yeah.
I hate Oregon. And
No.
I like Boise.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I like Idaho. I
The
hate
underdog.
Oregon.
It's the underdog, man.
Okay.
We like the underdogs, but yeah, no, I'm a diehard duck hater. Yeah. 100%. I'll
Oh, I
pull for the
love it.
Beavers. I'll pull for the Beavers, but no ducks.
Well, I'm a giant college football fan, but you're right. And I think the reason, there's as much as I love college football, there's also so many lackluster games. Like, you don't get lackluster matchups in the NFL. Even today, what was it? The Panthers go to Philadelphia and give them everything they could handle. That doesn't happen. If a 3-win team like Carolina goes up to the equivalent in college, they get annihilated every single time. But lo and behold, Carolina gave them a fight, and that's why the NFL isn't the most popular sport in our country. It's literally the most popular TV show, is because every time you tune in, it'll probably be exciting, and so
Any
it's
given
no joke why
Sunday.
it's so popular. You damn right, and that's the most true saying.
Hmm. Yeah. They're and that's one nice thing about the NFL is baseball. You get this. I mean, is I've only been invested in the draft in the minor leagues a handful of years now, and it's like I've been so hyped on these prospects down there and waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come up. That's what I love about the NFL. They have a draft, and those rookies have immediate impact and could turn around a team like that with a solid draft class. So I'm I'm about that.
That's such a good point. And they're guys that we see though too.
Hmm. Yeah, they
They're
stay
players that
relevant.
we know.
Yeah.
And hockey for that matter is also like baseball. Is most guys aren't like a Matty Beniers who comes up to the NHL team immediately after being drafted out of college. Most like hockey draft picks are just like baseball, where at best they'll be in the minors for a few years before they make it to the top. So it's just so different because I basically watched no college baseball, but I do pay attention to the prospects a little bit. And part of it's just the information age. When we were kids, you would never be able to know about all of these prospects the way we do, but our cell phones are better computers than we ever could have imagined growing up. And so the information level just changes on how easy, easy it'll be. I kind of like Georgia though, and what's crazy is I love they're so big, they're so fast, they're so physical, but why don't they play that well? And that's why we like sports though, is playing as a cohesive team is extremely important.
Yeah. 100%. You know,
Oh man.
you can't just throw a special shiny golden cog in there and expect it to run like it's brand new. So I mean, you need them all to mesh and work together as one unit. So
Well, I just want to give a shout out to my wife really quick because she's saying that Ryan Day folds under pressure. And there's some validity to that, but it's also tough when the program's expectations are so high. Everyone wants to fire your ass and you just went 10-2. But I mean, not everyone's expectations are the same, and that's just how it goes in sports. Expectations can be the best or the worst for you, but man, it's been really fun talking the gridiron, man. Is there like any other topics you want to touch on? Anything you got on your mind to get off your chest?
I mean, honestly, I felt like I got pretty much everything off my chest. I'm excited about the Seahawks and the direction they're going, and I'm still disappointed and not expecting much from the Mariners. And I'm excited about the college playoffs. Like, yeah, I'm excited for this 12-team round. It's gonna be special.
Okay. I'm gonna uplift you, man. The Mariners are gonna shock people with how good they are next year.
I honestly, I would have been okay if they kept the whole team together, like the same team, and run it back. Like, I think there's something with continuity and consistency. I don't like trying a guy out for a year and then just kicking him to the curb. I'd be even bullish to say that I think the Mitches will have a better year next year, and they'll actually contribute to us.
Does it mean anything what I'm about to say? Not really. But for some reason, Mitch Garver always has a great year in an odd numbered year. We're entering
That's
2025.
that is interesting. That
Yeah,
is
so who
interesting.
knows what to take of it? That
Yeah.
could literally be the most uncorrelated
You
shit that
know,
you know.
baseball is the most superstitious of them all, so there might be some validity to that.
But I'm with you. Why couldn't? I mean, Mitch Garver had an incredible 2023. He had a really poor 2024. Bounce back, Garver. I might actually try a double Mitchwich if y'all get it going.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. If our team this year played to the back of their baseball cards for even, I don't know, half the year, it seemed like they didn't even play well for half the year. We would have made the playoffs. Like, we're what, 2 games out at the end? 1 game out?
And
Yeah.
who knows, maybe if we hired or maybe if we fired Scott and hired Dan earlier, it would have been a different story. And who knows because it was such a small sample size, but the team won 61% of their games and their offense was top 10 in nearly every category from the moment that Dan and Edgar arrived on the scene. So I'm just hoping on a larger sample size that sort of leadership can go a long way for this club.
Yeah. And I am excited about the hitting coaching situation for us now. I mean,
Oh,
I would
absolutely.
rather Edgar be more hands on, but I'm not mad that he's head of operations for hitting, and not mad that we grabbed a Braves coach. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I'm thrilled. And then if you look it up, Kevin Seitzer posted a 295 career average himself. I mean,
okay,
we have like the two basically the most accomplished group of hitters who are coaches right now. Because I don't know if I told you this before. I looked at the list because I was curious. Because I was hoping we would make a move at hitting coach. I recognize like two names out of any hitting coach on that who is currently employed, and part of it is because we're in the era where a lot of these guys like an Edgar had made so much money in their lives. Do they really want that grind? I can do other things with my life
right?
because I ain't got to worry about the cheddar.
Yeah,
My family's set, we're straight. So
definitely.
shit, man. Shit, I love chopping it up with you, man. It's been great having you
Always a good
back,
time.
dude.
Always a good time. I'm glad to be
Good
back.
shit. Oh, hell yeah. Fresh to death in the Devin Witherspoon jersey. The best slot corner in football. Also kills it on the outside. Absolutely love it. We got to give a huge shout out to indie super producer out of Nashville, Tennessee. His wonderful fiance, Darby, Vaden Podcast Services. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Check out Death to Indie on YouTube for some of his musical talents as well. Got to give a huge shout out to my wonderful wife, Katie, who is helping us out on all the social media platforms. Got to give the biggest shout out to my big homie, the notorious RG, making shit roll. I hope you're doing well out there, big guy, wherever you might be in this wonderful country. I got to give another huge shout out down the I-5 corridor to my main man, Jerry B6. Thanks so much for kicking it with us, dude.
Absolutely. It's always good talking sports with you guys.
Good shit, man. Well, this is my. It's another sports podcast. Thanks so much to the live chat. Get at us, people.